Hi, I'm Bonnie, Log Cabin Stitcher. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my sewing room. You can follow me on Instagram at Bonnie Log Cabin Stitcher. Merry Christmas. Yes, December 25th is over, but I love Christmas and I carry it all the way until tomorrow, which is New Year's Eve. And my elf costume just came in the other day. I knew it was going to come in after Christmas, but I have always wanted an elf costume that I could wear to parties. And so I got one. I'm ready for next year. I'm ready for next year and having Christmas parties again. So here's something fun. I had told my husband, I've always wanted an elf costume. And he said, order one. I think he had a different idea than what actually arrived. But, so I did, and you can get one too on Amazon. So this is the one that just came in. It says North Pole Gal. See, like, it is not too revealing as long as I don't bend over and pick something up. It is sold by Gift Express, and I just searched elf costume for women. So this was green elf costume for women. It's only 38 bucks, and it came with the leotards, but not the shoes. So I'm going to be on the lookout for some elf shoes. Hopefully that have soles on them, because I would like to be able to wear it out to be able to walk into the party with my little elf shoes on. So there we go. By next year, we are going to have our Christmas party for our quilt guild, and I will be wearing this outfit. So there you go. And I'm going to wear it for the whole time because it's heavy. There's heavy stuff going on, and a merry heart is good medicine, says the Lord. So I hope to bring Christmas cheer to you, even though Christmas is sort of over. Those of us that want to keep it going are going to keep it going. So here we go. I have a lot to share, and I used oils to calm me down so I won't talk too fast. But there is a lot of stuff out on my table, and really today is a work day, and since I work on call, I'm going to have to watch the phone. But I have so much stuff that I have saved to be able to show you. I need to get this video done so I can get this stuff in my life. So here we go. I usually try to pile things really organized, so I go through a system. And I have lots of piles here. So here we go. I'm going to try to keep it organized a bit. But I had questions from my last video that I did. This will be FlossTube number 10. So in my FlossTube number 9, I showed a lot of the project bags that I had made. And I had people asking me if I would do a tutorial. I'm not a tutorial type of girl mostly. But where I learned from, you can go as well. So 2 ways to be able to find this tutorial. On my channel, look for the playlist. I have playlists. And one of them I have is called Videos by Others, Project Bags and Totes. And so the very first one is from Jenn, Jenn Crafts. And it's the project bag. So that's where I learned from. And hers is excellent. The only thing is I changed the measurements for my larger bags. And I'm going to put those in the show notes. And I'm also going to tell you for those of you that just want to know now. So that is a great place. Then our very own Celeste from Celeste Creates also did a project bag tutorial. And I'm going to show you things that I have set aside for that style. I love the vinyl front. So I'm going to show you, there's a project in here, but I like the vinyl front because I can tell what's in there, and I just like to look at what I have going. This is Jenn's large size of project bag, and I found that I wanted it the same width because I'm using the rolling cart, and I leave mine stacked. In the middle shelf, I have all of mine stacked so I can just kind of look through there and find my project. So I need that width that they finish up at 13 wide. But this one finished, I think it was at 9 long, and I wanted it to finish up at 10 because that's how much room I have. So this is just this different measurement. So it's the same width, but it's just an inch longer. I love, because I'm a quilter, I love matching up fabrics. So today I'm using just the natural light, but I love playing with fabrics. So this is my my autumn one. It's actually empty right now, waiting for something new. So this is also what you can see. When Jenn did hers, she did not put any vinyl in the center here. I am doing that now because it makes it nice and stiff. So I just cut a slice of vinyl, put that in there and sew it in. And I also, you can see the width. I make this wider because I want to see the fabric from the backing. And I also make this part wider. So here now is what I'm going to show. Oh, I'm going to show you those measurements that I do. This is her small size bag. This is my Christmas start that I'm going to show you. This is her small size bag. And I used it because it matched this project, but it really needs to be for small projects. So I can get everything in there if it is a small project, because I don't want to wad up or really fold up my linen. So this is just a small project. So let's put those aside. And then these are some tricks. I have a large, older square ruler. This one is 15.5 square, and it's an older one, and it does get a little bit scratched up if I'm measuring with the zipper. So 15 by 15 ruler for me, I'm not going to toss that, is perfect. You get the vinyl. So I get the vinyl by the roll. I go to Joann's and get it, and it is the vinyl. There's a lot of different vinyls, but it's the one with the yellow writing on the white paper that goes around it. I cut these in strips. I just get a big strip, I cut it down 15 inches, and then I cut it down farther as I need. I had been given a whole roll of fusible fleece by a friend that moved away. I love the fusible fleece. Now, these are just the ways that I do it. Since I'm not going to do a real tutorial, I'm just going to show you what I do, and then go watch either Jenn Crafts if you want to do the vinyl, or Celeste, who's on my playlist, for her zip top project bag, different than this one. And I will put these measurements, I'll put the measurements in the show notes. So please check out the show notes. The top piece, I cut either 2.5 or 3 inches wide by 13 inches long, because that's the finished size. Sometimes I actually cut them wider. So this is the inside. So I'm not going to start over again. So let's just do this. This is the inside piece that shows behind the vinyl. That inside piece is 13 wide by 11 long. So the fusible fleece, or whatever you use for the fused liner or the thickener that makes it stiff, is also 13 by 11. I learned the hard way. I measure, I'm not sure. I'm getting distracted. I've got to watch that. I get distracted because I have the window open. But I have learned to iron well the fabrics before I measure and cut, because if they have any wrinkles and I'm trying to iron it out because I don't want those to show in the project bag, the heat shrinks it, especially if you use any moisture. So the inside liner, 13 by 11, the fusible fleece, 13 by 11. The backing, so the backing is a large piece, and it wraps around to make the binding. So this big piece is 15 wide, 13 long, and now we're going to do the strips. So the strips, I usually cut a little bit wider. It's just, I don't know why I do that. You don't need to. But the widest one that I cut, this one would go on the top. Is really just needs to be 13 by 3. Now if I'm short on fabric, I will cut it narrower, and there's just less to show across that top piece. So that one is 3. Then the piece that goes under the zipper is what I cut. Riley is having a barking fit. This one is, I want to make sure I tell you right. The next one is 5 inches wide, because you fold it over. So you fold it in half, and she explains that, and then you fold the inner pieces. So see, this is why I don't do tutorials, because I can't explain things very well. But just know I will put my measurements, if you want to make a larger bag, in the show notes. And then I do not cut the vinyl until I actually have the two top pieces sewn together, and then I lay it against the backing, and then I trim the vinyl, and then I sew it on. So that's how I do it, because sometimes I will do different measurements. Like for whatever reason, I cut this one at 2.5 inches wide. So it's going to be a little bit narrower. Why? Probably because I'm watching FlossTube when I'm cutting. But I will show you another reason why. Let me fold that one over. Now, here's a piece of fabric that, see, this is how I do it. I just get all the pieces ready, and then I go and do them in a bunch. So this is some fabric that I had from my mom. It was a small piece, and all that I had, I didn't have enough to do the top pieces by the zipper in the full width. So even, I love this fabric. So whatever side I'm going to use, I really loved it and I wanted it to show. So I did as wide as I could, and I didn't make this inner piece go all the way up to the middle because I don't need to. So that's the story on that. And then the top piece, this was as wide as I have. So the binding is going to come down, and there's just going to be maybe 1/4 of an inch. Then we'll have the zipper, and then we will have this piece. So get creative, use what you have, and have fun. I don't like, I iron that fusible batting on well to get that firmness for the piece. So it's firm. It gives a bit of a firmness. A lot of people do the crosshatch quilting on the back to make sure that stays there. It's just not what I want to do. I love to see that piece without any distraction of the stitching. Will I be sad later when it comes loose? I might, but then I can just make more project bags because I am not short on fabric. So that's the story on what I do. I also shared in that last FlossTube video where I use older rulers, because when you actually cut, when you're trimming the sides off of the zippers, I am not going to use one of my good rulers and get scratched up. So I use an older ruler for that already has scratches. I use an older rotary cutter. I have many rotary cutters I inherited from my mom, and I have one that's just for templates, just for the zippers, because it will dull that blade. Oh, and then the other thing, I really love getting zippers from Zippers on Etsy. They don't have free shipping, but you can buy a bunch of them. And I get them much wider than I actually need because I don't want to work around that zipper. They're really not much more expensive to get the wider ones. So that's the story on my project bags. And check out, there's many good tutorials on women that are more organized than I to be able to explain things. But that's just to let you know how I do my project bags. So now we have... I have 2 sals going. I have 2 stitch alongs going, and I have been AOL, missing in action, MIA, whatever. I've been missing in action from those stitch alongs because I got sidetracked on Christmas stitching, because I see everybody's Christmas stitching, and because I just got into this stitching world again, as far as cross stitch in the summertime, I only had one old Christmas ornament from the 80s. So I took kind of a break from my stitch alongs in December, and I did some Christmas stitching. So you can see those in my Christmas home tour, just a few of the projects. So by stitch alongs, I have one that is Joy Nevertheless, SAL, that's hashtag, and that's on Instagram, and I'm doing Oh Joyous Day. And I also have a video about that in my YouTube channel. Then the other one is Our Friends of the Heart, HART-SAL, and that I'm doing with Kim at the Contented Stitcher, and she is doing so well on both of those projects that she's doing with me. So now that New Year's is coming and I will be having some more time to stitch, I'm going to get back into those stitch alongs. So I haven't totally left you. I just got distracted, but this is why. I had so much fun doing this project. This is a finish, but I need to fully finish it. And this is from, oh, here's the pattern. This is Emmanuel by Lottie Daw. All it said was that she finished it as a pouch. There were no directions. Now, I've been sewing all my life, and I knew I could figure it out, but when I'm doing something new, I really like to have concrete directions. So I found in the Stitching Club book, I was looking through that one morning, there is a sewing bag, but it shows how to make a pouch. And so that's what I'm going to do, because I really do want to make it a pouch where I can put greenery inside. I did some changing, and I will put that in the show notes. But the one thing that I found was it called for bark, which for me, it was a very dark color, and it was supposed to be the ground, the trunk, and the branches. And I started doing it that way, and I thought, no, I don't want brown branches. So I switched it out, and I did green for, I can tell you right now, I wrote it down if I can read it. I have Lily Pad, which was a limited edition thread from Gentle Arts. Is it Gentle Arts? Yeah, GA. And then I did Onyx for the writing. And it has a little bit of a gray tone in there. So that's Onyx from Weeks, because I do not have the one from Gentle Arts. Then we have Dark Chocolate, which I think was also a limited, maybe, from Gentle Arts. And then the red is Mulberry, probably from Gentle Arts as well. So I love it. And it was on the called for Ren. So this is 36 Ren. I am going to do the back. I was thinking that would be such a waste to waste the linen for the back. But I do want it to look like it is a real pouch made out of this old linen, and then that's going to be the lining. So hopefully I will get that done this weekend, so I will have another fully finished project. Then we have a lot of exciting things. We have a lot of exciting things to show you, me and my elf. So again, it's going to be a little disorganized because I just have things stacked. But I did a giveaway about a month ago, and one of the winners, Pat, sent me a gorgeous card and a thank you note showing me what she is doing. So that was the bag, the project bag that she won, and her Teresa Kogut project on the inside. So I love seeing what people are working on, especially when they're using a bag that I made. And then Celeste, I had sent her a project bag, and she just had a beautiful whip parade. I watched it last night, and she showed my bag that I gave her on that. So where can we go now? Trying to get a little order. Let me show you some haul that I got, and then I am now kitting things up. I'm progressing in my cross stitching because I watched FlossTube when I discovered it in August. Was not going to get back into cross stitching because I had given it up for 20 years. And I was doing, I do so many other things. My room is full of projects that I have going. So I thought, no, I do not need anything more to do. And then, yeah, everything else has stopped because I'm doing nothing but cross stitching. And I'm watching a lot of the floss tubes, and I saw everybody doing the thread drops. And I thought, no, I don't want to do that because I love my floss organization wheel. And I have FlossTube number, I think it's number 3 and 4 or 2 and 3 that shows my stitching station and the way I organize my floss. And I love it, and I still do that, but now I am doing the thread drops. So let's just start this. It is kind of out of order. This is the bag that I had showed from last time, and look at this. Oh my word. Brenda from Brenda and the Cereal Starter. I know like everybody in the world has watched her Christmas home tour. Knockdown, amazing, inspiring, gorgeous, fantastic. And then I got inspired, and I got All Joys for Thine because I saw it, and I want to do it everything just like this. So I'm on the notification list for 123 Stitch. They have because it's Heartland, it's 36 Heartland, and that one is really hard to find by Picture This Plus. So I got a notification that it came in, boom. I already had like a wish list going of flosses that I need. So boom, I ordered it that day. So it's on its way. So that will be fully kitted, but look at this. Not only am I doing floss drops, but I am doing what I call floss jewelry. I think they're called thread charms, whatever. Here is everything. So I've got my floss ready to go, but there are 2 special things here. One is what I learned. I learned how to make these charms. They are with something called cabochons. Cabachons. I ordered these on Amazon. Lisa Abbey Needleworks. her FlossTube number 51. Partway into it shows how she makes these. She's not doing a tutorial, she just explains it. It was good enough for me. I made them, I had fun. She has a lot of buttons on hers. I have not chosen to do that yet. I am having fun with just one little charm and my little cabochon. I have everything all together. I will actually do a tutorial where I show you how I make mine. And because I do the jewelry making, I've gotten back into doing the jump rings. So I'm going to try to show you. I have no idea how I'm going to show it, but we'll worry about that. I'll be able to do that this weekend when I'm not working. So I am having a lot of fun doing these, and I will show you. I just use the scrapbooking paper that come in the little pads that I get at Hobby Lobby half price, so a couple dollars, little charms. So that is a fun thing that I am now doing. Then I got thread drops made for me by my Shanda, who is quilting in Idaho. She was my very first introduction to FlossTube, and the video that I watched was actually where she showed her thread drops and she showed her thread charms, and so that's where she actually sent me a gift, and I have some made by her. This is what I'm also doing. I am just putting the symbol of what that is as I do this. So yes, they will be more of the disposable type, but I didn't want to have to flip it over and have it done in pencil. I may change that. This is the first one I'm doing. So on this one, that is the symbol that I'm using Sandcastle for, and then it's made by Weeks. So that's my story. This is how I'm doing it. This is the beginning. So you ladies have very much inspired me to follow in your footsteps. The other trick that I am doing is, because I am also making my own thread drops from scrapbooking paper, I have this cute little, look at, I love enamelware, a little enamelware cup with scraps of scrapbook paper. So this is the harder cardstock. But if I pull out a whole skein from my thread wheel, I don't want to try to figure out where that skein is. So all I do, like, if I pulled one out, which I did for All Joys for Thine, yep. I just wrote All Joys for Thine, and I plopped that in that little zipper pouch that I have for my thread. So that way I know where it is going to be if I need to pull some from that. So that's what I've got going on that. Then here is another one of my first project bags that I made. This has DMCs. So I've had my DMC collection from the 80s. So I ended up putting them on the bobbins at the time, and it looks like they had a perm. So those that have been on the bobbins are very crinkly. And I know Jean Farish had a video on how to get threads not to knot up, and she has them cut shorter. So I believe she suggests cutting them in 18-inch lengths. I just did 20-inch lengths and I put them on here, but you can see some that I did not have on the bobbin, much straighter, and those that are on the bobbin. I am just going to be changing as I go. Then after I'm done with this, it's going to go back. It's going to go all back in the little bag that I have for that DMC. So I'm not going to leave, as far as I know. I see a lot of people with different hangers with them hanging up. I may be doing that too. I don't know. So here is another one. What do I have on here? Another charm. These are just charms that I think I got at Michael's. Michael's and Hobby Lobby have little charms. So that's the story on that one. That project, it's all ready to go. I even have the thread. This one, let me take it out of the bag. This one is called Me and You by Lottie Daw. But the called for linen, you can see, is much darker. So we shall see how that actually shows up on there, but you can see it's very different. So I may be changing. I love straw. It is, I have not stitched on it yet, but I love it. So I'm hoping that that works out. So let me slide these back in. I see that's the other thing that you ladies do when you're doing FlossTube. You slide them back in so that you don't have the one big mess. Then I kit it up. And you got to be in the mood. I have to really be in the mood to make a mess and kit things up. But I really am ready to start on the reprint of Blackbird Designs. I have all of these, but they're not all in this bag right now because I am going to start with summer. It's stitched on, the called for is 30. I'm not doing 30. I don't think. Oh, you know what? I am. I decided to go ahead and do that. I am going to do 2 by 2, 2 threads over 2 pieces of floss, whatever. 2 flosses. I'm going to need to eat lunch soon. 2 floss, 2 over 2. Oh my word. I'm not going to stop this video. I'm going to keep going because you all know what you're talking about. Hopefully you just know what I'm talking about. This linen, because I'm not going to use the called for, it is a gorgeous one. Let me find my little card. It is, isn't that gorgeous tag? I love primitive. I got this from Needle Case Goodies. This is Old Salem linen by the Primitive Hair. So this is the linen that I'm going to do. And you can see it looks tea-dyed, gorgeous. I think it's very fun. And I have, so these, oh, Riley's going to bark because FedEx is delivering. These are from Park Lane. They're from Joann's. So these are just circles. They actually had this top there, and I just did the punch for that size. So this one, I'm trying because I have a lot of cabochons made up because this is a bird. Look at, that's a bird on there. Isn't that cute? And then, oh, and then I have a feather. I actually had that. So that was fun, but this is how I'm doing this one. So I'm trying different thread drops. And then because I don't think I'm going to do that flower, that color. So what I did was I went to my L&S, Needles and Niceties. This is how I usually do my threads. They're in the bags and they're on the wheel. But I was playing with different colors to see. This is the one I really think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do this Raspberry Frost as the flower. But I had just different options to play with on what I might do. Why do I have that in there? I don't know. I don't think I would do a brown flower. But I really loved that fudge ripple. It was very beautifully variegated and very much different. I have a fudge ripple from long ago. When I did embroidery, I used to, because I would end up getting my thread wet as I was getting rid of the blue washout marker. My first project bled, and so I used a product called Retain, and that's to, you get it wet, you put the Retain, it's a liquid, in the water, and yes, it bleeds, but you lose that bleed out in the water, and then you dry it, you hang it, but I lost a lot of the color in that process. So a lot of the older overdyes that I had, I did that with. I am not doing that anymore. So that fudge ripple from years ago looks way different. So I know there's difference in dyeing, and the Retain could not have taken that much out. So, oops, forgot to put that in there. What else do I want to show you that's right down in front of me? Okay, let's show you what else I got from Shanda. So I had sent Shanda a gift because she was my, Celeste and Shanda have become sweet friends of mine, and they were a great inspiration for me as I got into FlossTube. I watched how they did their FlossTubes, and they both quilted as well, and that's why I was really drawn to them, because I primarily am the quilter as well. So I just have a special feelings for them, and I just wanted to give them a gift. So Shanda sent me a gift. It was so fun to get something from her. So you saw the little thread drops that she gave me, or the thread, I don't even know what you call the tags, the thread tags. Then she sent me a cabochon as well. So a thread charm. So a sweet lady. And then a key. Is that gorgeous? So there's a project that I have coming up. I'm going to show you that. Who knows? This could be like hours long. That the project has keys in it. So this is going to be going with that project. So I got that from her. Then she also gave me 2 gorgeous Christmas colors. I had seen Laura from Brenda and the Cereal Starter talk about her love of tarragon. And so actually I had that on my wish list. And I got it first from Shanda. So now it's gifted. and baked apple. And look at, those are perfect Christmas colors. So beautiful, beautiful. So that was from Shanda. Then she gave me Christmas cards that she made, and I've already used some of these, but they are so beautiful. So that was from my sweet Shanda. Thank you, Shanda. So in all that, because I was so inspired by Shanda and then seeing these other thread drops, that's why I started doing the cabochons. And I just want to show you kind of a tease of I will do a simple tutorial because my brain isn't really set up for real in-depth ones. These are some of the ones that I've been playing with. So yes, I made this, and I put the dragonfly on there. So this is how I am enjoying them right now. I may go back and add more things to it because the buttons are really cute. But this is what I got for right now. Here is another one. So again, just scrapbooking paper, and look at that. It says, I love my dog. I got that in a Christmas card last year from Riley's. I call her Riley's friend. We have a pet sitter that comes to our house because Riley was an abandoned dog, and so he has separation anxiety. So when I was first looking for who we could have watch our Riley while we went away, I was not going to board him. And so I have an amazing pet sitter. If you're in the Inland Empire, I totally trust her, and she is amazing. But contact me, email me, or comment, and I'll tell you my awesome pet sitter. Okay, so here's another one. So there we go. It is harder to find, because I have the different color trays, it is harder to find the different colors, especially the black jump rings. So I went to Hobby Lobby. It was also because they had the 50% off on all the jewelry shop and the charms. So I had posted a picture on Instagram last week. So every couple weeks they go through a cycle, and they did not have any of the larger jump rings. And when I do my tutorial, I actually bought a lot of jump rings so I could tell you the size. I use 4mm, 6, 9, and 12. So not everything, and I am going to be searching. I actually found them on Amazon. They actually have the different color rings, so I want everything to match, but that's my baby there. So I'll be sharing that with you on a whole different video, hopefully this weekend coming up. Here's some more things. So at Needles and Niceties, I just had fun looking through their threads. And because it is hard when you're looking on a website, it is harder to get the actual color. And then I know there's variations, but this is one that I picked up. So this is Old Covered Bridge by the Gentle Arts, and I was fascinated with this color. So see, it is, I think it's like where copper, it's really, to me, looks like the copper when it changes color and gets, I don't know if they call it veritas, I don't even know what the word is, but I saw that and I thought, oh my gosh, I wanted to do something where that really, really showed up, which would mean a lot of solid stitching. So I was playing around, and this is what I do for fun because I'm working. Incredibly grateful. Last night I watched a lot of videos about businesses struggling right now. There's a lot of hard stuff going on. So that's why I'm fun. I'm here doing the fun stuff, trying to make you bring a smile to your face. But work is coming. Just a second. Yeah. Hang tight. I don't know how to pause. Hang tight. I need to tell the guy I work with. Text me. Just a second. I wish I knew how to pause and do it. Text me. Okay. I don't know. I could probably figure out how to do that now, but it might stop it, so I don't want to do that. Anyway, I was in here playing because sometimes life just gets like overwhelming because I'm grateful to work. That's what I've got going on right now. Because to me, I don't work, I don't get paid, so I need to keep working. But when I'm home, I love being home, and I love playing in my room. In one video, I called it piddling. Piddling is what Riley does in the backyard. It's puttering. I putter in my garden and my sewing room. I never piddle in my sewing room. So I was trying to see how I could play with this and use a project that I've got and see what I could do. So this was a chart that I have. So I have green on green, and this is all one solid. And I thought, oh, that might be interesting to do that with that skein. So I want to try it. Okay, hang tight. Doing things. Okay, got it. I love the people I work with. I love the people I work with the agency that I work with. Okay, so green on green, I may try it on that. Then I was also thinking, and I thought, that is funny, it's bapping me in the ear. Then the other thing is I thought, oh, that would be really pretty if it was done in these colors too. So then I pull this guy out. This was my past finish that I did a couple weeks ago, and I thought those would be beautiful colors. That might be fun. And so I just make a big mess, just having fun. Then there was something else that I was thinking of, which is this nesting project that I got from, oh, I got this at Needles and Niceties as well. So that might be fun. But then it was funny because I'm thinking about the same colors. I had also pulled this out, which is, this is Copper Penny Witchelt. So it was just a little piece that I got, but look at that. It's the same color. So that would be too much, I know, to do both the thread and that together. I really don't think it would show up, but I could always play with it. So that's what I do, is I just pull things out and I play, and I know y'all do the same thing because it's just fun to figure out what you want to do, and it's happy making is what it is. So oh, in that, because I've got this big box to show you, I enjoyed purple paint so much because I don't have my glasses on. Old purple paint is here, but see the variegation? So you've got the lighter and the darker. Where else was it? It was also, I think it was also down here. I enjoyed that so much just in the little bit of stitching, and I think it shows up the most right there. I enjoyed it so much. I thought, oh, I got to get another skein of it before it changes or I can't get it anymore. So it's not showing up as much here because I think because it's so thick, we've got this whole skein together. But this is also a different skein, but you can, there you go. You can see the variegation, and it really shows up beautifully when you're doing 1/2. See, I got it right there, 1/2. My sanity is questionable at times. The other threads that I got that I just wanted to share with you, I am really enjoying Polywog. I'm doing that. It's on Oh Joyous. Is it on Oh Joyous Day? I know it's in Our Friends of the Heart. I really, really like those colors because you can see these are the colors that I like. So Polywog, I think I've got now like 5 or 6 of these skeins because I like it. And who knows when things will go in and out of stock or what color changes could come. But here's something interesting. So I am not able to get right now Gentle Arts Onyx, but I do now have quite a few of the Gentle Arts of the Week's Onyx. And you can see, I'm sure this is not new for most of you, the variegation is gorgeous. And I have it because I like to do a lot of crows, and I have several of the Peddler's Night. I think it is the one with the big bird that a lot of people are doing, and I am as well. And I like that variegation, the gentle variegation. So as I was looking on one of the places that I ordered from, I can't even remember where it was, I saw this. So black licorice, and I thought, oh, that'll be fun. I do not see any variegation with this. I'll put it against the white that I've got right here. So there you go. There is like no variegation. So in a sense, may as well have gotten a DMC. I may love this. I may like the smoothness of it. I don't know. But that's how I'm trying things out. So when I know I love something like Onyx, I want to make sure I get some. So here's my question for you. For those of you who loved over-dyed, whether silk or cotton, what's your favorite? I would love to know because I actually got a silk that was nicely variegated too. So that's my story on that. Then back and forth on things. I got Winds of Autumn. So I know Blackbird Design is doing a lot of re-releases, and I love the Sewing Club, and it's a big book and it's wonderful. But I was not sure what was in here, so I didn't order it until I saw Michelle on Mama Loves You GB. She showed every page that's in here, so I'm not going to take the time to do it because she did it in one of her Christmas Flossmas vlogs that she did. Let's see if I got nothing. So anyway, we don't celebrate Halloween. We've just chosen not to do that. So I thought if there's a bunch of Halloween stuff in there, I'm not going to stitch it. But oh, gorgeous stuff is in here. A lot of fall. I love fall. Fall, all of autumn, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year. I love to celebrate. So those are the ones that I celebrate. And I think like a lot of people that got this book, this is the one that they plan on stitching for sure. That's what nailed it for me. I love that house. It's done with Schneckley. And our little cabin has kind of like a tree like that, a big oak tree that I think we're going to have cut down because it's not so healthy above the cabin. So I'm going to do it like that. So that, I got that book. Now let's show you. Okay, so this is how I do my flosses. These are Yarnology. These I got. They're not the floss. I know that there's some floss away. I think those have writing. It's a different size. So I had already had some bags from years ago, but this Yarnology one from Hobby Lobby, those were the same size. So those are the bags that I'm using. I just got those ready. So as soon as I'm done with this video, I get to put those things away. So some other things that I purchased and did, since we're all over the place, we're just going to go here now. On Sambry Stitches, I'm enjoying watching the interviews, and Barb from Lost and Floss was one that was interviewed, and she shared this project. She had done Oh Christmas Tree, and she changed the color. And so I had mentioned on the last one that I messaged her and to find out what it was, because she said she used silk. So a Vera Soie Miss Green jeans. So I got that. Now the called for linen is putty. I have putty and it's pretty dark. So we'll see. We'll see. But I just thought, oh, I loved seeing Barb's, and I love that. I love the simplicity and the primitiveness of that. But that's All Through the Night is the designer on that, and her name is Bonnie Sullivan, and she is sister with Kathy Schmitz, which I got something from her. Oh my gosh, 42 minutes in there, and I'm halfway through my stuff, so we're gonna get moving. Lori from Mischievous Stitches was showing a project that she's doing. She's doing a Christmas stitch along, the 12 Days of Christmas, and she's using her Sulky Petites 12 weight, and I know I've heard other people talk about it, that it's color fast, as far as I know, and it's the thickness of 2 DMC embroidery flosses. So I bought a couple, and because I love plastic and storage, this is what I got. So I got just a few because I wanted to try a Christmas or a Valentine's Day stitch. I love the colors I got, but I need to get a darker red, so I just ordered, I think, Merlot wine. So this is how I have my Aurifil. If you watch one of my, I think it's Quilting number 5 video about my review about why I use Aurifil threads, this is how I store my Aurifil threads. It's in the same thing. So this is the Iris. Hobby Lobby has their own brand. I already had some Iris. That's from Joann's. Iris is a really good brand of plastic. And these are the photo boxes for 5x7. They also have smaller ones. So these are 5x7 where I'm going to be able to stack 2 wide. So I have not used those yet, but I'm excited. But again, I had to do the video so I could get all these things out. Some other things that I got from 123 Stitch. I am seeing how fun it is to finish things, and to help hide the edges or to dress things up, you use chenille. So this one I got was chamomile tea. Is that chamomile tea? Oh, colonial tea. So colonial tea. Okay, so here's the thing I need to ask you guys. How do you know the different sizes? Because I thought these were going to be the same size. This is toasted meringue. So that would be beautiful. And this is Dames of the Needle. That would be great for something tiny. Like I do want to do Christmas tree ornaments. I need to go eat. I want to do Christmas ornaments. So this would be perfect size for that. And this would be larger. I see no indication. It just says chenille. I see no indication to tell me that this is more like an 1/8 and this is more like a 1/4. So help a girl out, help me know the difference, or I just get a stock of stuff, and if I'm not buying it in person, I get what I get. So something else that I got, some more Dames of the Needle. This one's beautiful, dried wine. And I got that rickrack. Did I get anything else? Yes. Another one of Colonial Tea, because I was pretty sure I would really like that. And I do, because it looks very faded and lovely and old. Then I had shared that I had 2 of these that I wasn't going to do the needle nannies or the needle minders because I just didn't need to do that. And then, yep, I decided to do it. But I like things that all kind of look the same. So at the moment, I'm not going to be collecting a lot. But I have this one already. So this was Sleeping Bee. And it's by Zappy Dots. And I already had this because this is a quilt that I'm going to make by Blackbird Designs. It's the Raven. I wanted a Christmas one because I thought seasonal. How wonderful would it be to have seasonal stuff? So I got Zappy Dots. This just came in. And it's going to be a nice winter one. For whatever reason, I kept thinking it reminded me of Little Women, like Laura Ingalls Wilder. But they did not have a beautiful, big, grand house like that. But whatever reason, because the beauty of it, it reminds me of that. And the deer. So it's a pretty one. And I know that's a needle. Oh, I know it is a pattern that you can buy, but I can't remember it right now. And I'm going to have to finish this video before I go comatose. So let's just finish things out. On 1, 2, 3 stitch, I purchased this one. This is gorgeous because I want to do some Valentine stitching. So this is 36 Aztec red linen. I didn't get a real big piece, so that's going to be fun, but I really want to do some Valentine stuff. And that is a really neat color. I like it. It's a beautiful color for me who likes prim. Then because I like getting like the little sample pieces, this is another one. I wanted to try gingerbread. So this is 36 gingerbread, picture this plus. So it does look like a gingerbread color, but it will certainly need to be something with that dark color. I've never had that before. And okay, I'm going to slow down. I'm talking fast again. Pause me, man. That's the other thing. I was thinking, oh, I need to make these shorter. And I thought, oh, you can pause me. You can turn me off. That's fine. Because these are longer videos and this is going to be longer because I want to clear all this stuff out. But I was doing, because on Daisy K's Primitives, she has the great, that's Christy Green. She has a great coffee dyeing demonstration. And so I have been doing that, but I used the 32 count Zweigart from Hobby Lobby. And I've had fun doing that and I love it. So please check her out for that on how to do it. But I thought I also want to get I love 36 count. And then I want to do Christmas ornaments. So I'm going to try 36 count. Then I may get 40 count white. So I ordered this from 1, 2, 3 Stitch, a nice big piece, but this is the 36 count. So I can coffee dye it, but of course I'm going to have to use, because I do it after I stitch, to make it look more primitive, and she explains why. But I will use the sulky, or I will use just DMC, because the overdyes definitely will bleach. So that was a big piece. Then my bud Celeste was sharing in several videos about her projects and how she loved a linen called Winter Moon. And I looked at it on the site and I thought, man, that looks really white, very, very, very light. And I'm more of the darker linen. But I thought, if Celeste likes it, I'm going to try it. So I got a little Celeste sample of Winter Moon, and it was so fun. I just needed to talk to someone. And so Celeste and I did a Christmas show and tell on FaceTime. So that was so special. And I showed her, I got your linen, but now you can really see Winter Moon is here and white is here. So it does have a depth of color that I couldn't see just on its own. Then look at, I don't know if that's what you call the slubs, but that thickness of the linen shows up beautifully. I love it. So I will probably be ordering a bigger piece, but I'm going to find something that works perfect on this size. But Winter Moon is perfect too. I was telling Celeste, you know, the Winter Moon that we have, especially when I'm up at the cabin, I tend to notice the moon much more. That is the color of the Winter Moon. It's beautiful. So that's fun. Then I also, because I'm going to be doing finishes, And I do have Early Christmas Morning. It's the big drum, and I have not even started it yet. But, and that's what I'm going to use that tarragon for. I know that Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch finished hers, and she said that was the first drum that she stitched. And there's a learning curve, because doing anything on a curve is definitely a learning curve to do that. So I'm going to stitch more smaller drums, and the sewing club has a lot of drums, so I'm going to practice on those. But I think it was, I want to say maybe it was Michelle that was talking about, and if not, I don't know who it was, but ground nutshells. I got this bag from 123 Stitch, and I'm going to try these on the smaller drums, because the drums, they're tall and skinny, so they would be easily to topple unless you put a weight in there, maybe a drapery weight or something that would give it some stability. So I got this, a small bag. I think this was the smallest I could get, and I was just going to play with it. So I will be making drums before I actually put together the Early Christmas Morning, whether I started or not. So I went to my L&S several times, because that's where I got I called them up and I said, do you have Winds of Autumn? And he said, no, they're coming in. So I said, please save one for me. So I got a call, and I got to pick it up the day after Christmas. So that's the local one. If you're local to me, Inland Empire, give them a call. They may still have some. But when I was there last time, I picked out some linens, yet I didn't have them in front of me to show you. This is how I'm keeping track. I put 40 weight ale, picture this plus, where I get it from. So that way, if I need to get some more, I know, or if someone asks me, I know where to get it. I've seen a lot of people share their projects with ale, and I wanted to get it because it looks dark and lovely, and it is a rich, dark color. Then cocoa. So this was another one, 40 weight cocoa. So when I first went in, I was talking to Robert, one of the owners, or he and his wife Anna own the shop. And I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just getting back into cross stitching. So he just showed me this is where the linens are. And I was just going to start with the biggest one that I got. So I actually purchased 30 and 32. Yet I jumped in with a kit that I had, my little Wren, that was 36. And I love 36. So 32 is kind of too big for me. 30 is going to be ginormous, but I have projects that I want to work on with that. So I went in and I said, I'm ready for 40. I'm going to do 40 count in 2021. And so I just wanted to pick out a couple colors. So cocoa, you can see the variegation in there is gorgeous. And then because straw, I already had some 40 count straw, but it's amazing. So I bought some more. So, oh gosh, wow, I can put a lot of stuff away now. Hang tight, we're not done. 52 minutes in and we're not done. Yeah, I was thinking, do I want to show you this? Yeah, I do, because I want to put it away. So I usually get a bonus from the agency, and it hasn't come in yet. So either I'm not getting one this year, which I better, or the owner's just been too busy to send it. So hopefully that's the case. But either way, I always spend my bonus ahead of time. I stick it under the tree, and then boom, that's from them. So I spent my bonus, and I got a fat quarter bundle. So this is from Kathy Schmitz, who is the sister of Bonnie Sullivan. And it's a panel. It's called, oh my word, what is the name of it? Because I was thinking it was the name of the pattern. Oh, it's Home. So this is what it is. It is an older one. So I was fortunate to be able to still buy it. Home from Kathy Schmitz. I can't remember, did I buy it on her site or not? I can't remember, but I found it. I searched it and I found it. And the pattern that I wanted to use, I'll show you the pattern in a minute. I only needed mini charms, and I could have gotten the mini charms, but I thought, I love this fabric, and I know I can make project bags and stuff out of it. So I was going to never buy fabric for project bags because I have so much, but I thought it's a bonus. So I'm going to make some project bags because these are really fun, and I don't have this kind of fabric. So that's one. I had this laid out Christmas morning on my floor. This is the tan, kind of an oatmeal color. And, oh, that was another one. And then this is more of the cream. It looks like creamer. So these are just the fabrics. And this one, I don't usually do text writing but that was gorgeous. And I will show you the pattern that I'm going to do. But it came with a big panel. And since I'm an embroidery, it's like I'm going to do embroidery if I'm going to do something. So, but I thought these were just so gorgeous. What could I do with it? And so I was driving to work one day and I thought, oh, project bags. So not only, like I was going to do like this as a project bag, outer and inner. And I thought, oh, I can use, so because this piece that I would have to cut out, let me fold it again so I can show you. Because the piece that I have to cut out is going to be smaller than the size that I want my project bag, I will just frame it. And actually there's a fat quarter piece of this fabric. So I will either frame it with that so it actually fits inside the vinyl piece, or I will frame it with something darker. But I have enough to be able to do the backing, the big backing piece with this. So that was fun. And then after watching Celeste Creates Project Bags, remember I told you that's on her site. So please go check her out. But it's also on my playlist. I just made sure I popped it on this morning. She shows how she does, it's not vinyl, it's the zip top. And that, I think I may even do that because I have quite a few of these pieces. That could be the inside lining as well. So I'm going to do that. Hang tight and I'll show you something more that I'm going to do with those projects. But these, and right now at the moment, I do not have my color printer hooked up. I had a little bit of, because I've been working so much, I have a brand new, this year I bought I have a big printer. They're the big Hewlett Packards, and it's like, I don't know, $1,200, $1,200, $1,000, yeah, $1,200. And it like fried its brain because I've been working so much. So I took it in. I fried my brain too. So I took it in. It had a spa day at the print shop and I got it back. But in between time, I had to hook up another one of my printers to use, and it was having some issues. So if I can't print, I can't work. So I thought, okay, now I'm brave enough just to try to hook up. I hate technology. I like it when you plug it in and it works. I don't like figuring anything out. So since I got my new printer, this weekend I'm going to be playing around with my colored printer. But for now, this is the pattern I got. These are instant downloads on Kathy Schmidt's site. So Eastmoreland, this is a small project. So this is 16 by 20. The fun thing is Anna from Quilt Roadies has 2 videos about it. So if you want to check this one out and want to make one, search Quilt Roadies Eastmoreland and you're going to see her beautiful picture. Small, but you can see they're just small pieces, but it's just fun, simple, fusible applique, simple embroidery. And then this one really shows up beautiful as the colored picture. It's one of the snap tops. So I'll show you the color picture next time or in my quilting video. And then look at this. I'm going to make a pin cushion. So those are the things, those are all the projects that I'm going to make. Slow down, Bonnie. Those are all the projects that I'm going to make with my fat quarter bundles. And then I even had, because I have my Valdani collection, I even had the called for Valdanis. And I am going to make it work. This is not quite big enough, but this is going to be the background for that. But it's a piece of marbled flannel that I have. And again, I got a lot of fabric, so I really want to work at not buying fabric. So I'm just going to make it a little bit narrower if I need to. So 58 minutes. Now I'm going to show you what I didn't show you because I ran out of time on my last floss tube. So it's going to get shown because I need to start working on this. So after I watched Celeste's project bag tutorial, I started thinking, what can I make? Because I would like to make bigger project bags. As much as I love my vinyl, I'm going to need bigger project bags, and especially like for my quilting projects, because there's a lot of fabric in there. So I was thinking, oh, what can I do with my past finishes? Some of these have been sitting around for about 13, 14 years. I need to finish some things up. So when she was talking about the project bags, you change the size. Very easily can change the size, and it has that zip top. So whatever you have on the front and the back really shows up. So here you go. Are you ready for this? Here you go. Okay, this is a past finish. I believe it was a buttermilk basin. I don't even know if that site is up anymore. I think she's Stacy West. I think that's what it was. But I did this forever long ago. So it is going to be a project bag. Isn't that going to be cute? That's one. This is another one I had done long ago. And I'm going to change the colors. So there was you can kind of see where I ripped something out here. It was a blanket stitch, and I'm going to make it match more. But I am going to do that with this. See, I try to get everything all together. That is going to be a project bag. Then another one, and I believe this pattern is still available, Crabapple Hill Studios. It is a brighter one. I was going to give it to my sister because she liked the brighter colors, and then they sold their cabin, so they don't have snow anymore because she lives in the flatlands like me. So I'm going to keep it. So lining outside, I wanted to downplay that blue because I was not going to restitch it. And I even have the zipper. I got a big collection of zippers from Zip It. Then, at one time I had curtains in my sewing room, and I have the whole valance. I don't do valances anymore. I just want to see out the window when we have blinds. So I thought, what can I do with these curtains? I'm going to make project bags. So they're going to be narrower, and I'm figuring it out because I'm undoing the stitching that had the bottom. The back was just a cheap fabric lining. But that's okay. So see, it's already lined because I knew it was going to get a lot of sun, and I didn't want it to dye, to sun dye the fabric. So anyway, I am going to figure it out, and I even have zippers, and that will be coming up in the progress. So you can tell what I'm going to be working on. Past finish. Should I show you? Yeah, because it's stacked here. I will have to find, this I think is, I'm pretty sure it is by my hand, Brenda Gervais. See, she used to do a lot of embroidery. And this you can see I did his beard and whisper. I have real jingle bells for Rudolph. It's not done because I'm not good at follow through, but you'd think after about 13 years I could finish it. The other thing, I remember the day that I was stitching this, and the day that I was stitching this, there was a change in our life, and we went into a hard part of our life for a while. And so I had tied that emotional with that project, and it sat there. It's not that project's fault, and we've made it through that hard time in our life. That was one of our speed bumps. We made it through, God's grace. So it needs to be made into a project. Then the other one that I have, this is Crabapple Hill Studios, and I believe these are, I have these whole winter, spring, summer, fall. These I'm pretty sure are still for sale. I think I've shown this before. I just need to finish the wool parts of it, which would not at all be hard, but I was not sure how I wanted to finish it. That's why I need to get this done, because I had the pattern. She had finished it a different way in the pattern, and I picked out these colors because I wanted to kind of make it darker, more primitive, and more like all winter, not too Christmassy. So I was trying to figure out how I could do that, and I thought, oh, this was my one from autumn. I've left this up on my door. It usually goes on the other side of that, my sewing room door. I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to do it with the wool. This is how the autumn one really was finished. This is the only one I have done. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do those two colors for here. I love this fly stitch. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do just these wool tabs. So bingo, that at least I made a decision, and we'll get it done. Oh my goodness, goodness, goodness. I did everything. So now I can put all this stuff away. Now, a couple things I want to show you. These are a pair of scissors. So I got these months ago, and I had seen handwork, Hands Across the Sea. I can't remember her name. Anyway, she had shown some scissors, and I'm pretty sure these were it. They were Heirloom. They're called Heirloom. So they are on, I bought them, I think on 1-2-3 Stitch. This is Heirloom embroidery scissors. They're 4-inch. They're only like $10. So she was talking about having some scissors that are really expensive that you want to take care of, and ones that you use more often. But when I got these, they were stiffer. it was like I had to work to open and close them. Like, I got to work really hard to open and close that. But I have Ginger scissors that are just, they open and close beautifully. And so I just thought, I'm not even going to use these. But I put them in one of my cases. I've been doing a lot of hand quilting. I've been hand quilting. This is one of my projects that I'm hand quilting. Re-hand quilting, something that my mom had done, and it's falling apart, the hand quilting. So I'm redoing that. But I've been using that to do, I have a couple quilts that I'm working on, quilts from my mom that just need a little bit more help. And so I've had these in my little quilt tin, and they are getting easier, and I like the weight. So now it just took time. I'm not big into change, but it took time, but they're beautiful, and they are incredibly sharp. Like if I get attacked when I'm stitching, boom, I gotcha. But they are beautiful, and it is getting easier to open. So those are nice. Two things that's left. People have asked, because I've talked about Pinterest. I love Pinterest. But I don't have my Pinterest as Log Cabin Stitcher or Bonnie Log Cabin Stitcher. And for me, for whatever reason, I still have this hang up that my Pinterest account to me is a private thing. But people have asked because they want to start following and seeing the things that I stitch. So if you stay till the end, you get secrets. So one of them is, this is me, Beanie Bonjamer on Pinterest. So you can see how it is spelled. The story on Beanie Bonjamer is that's my dad's name for me. We all had nicknames. I was Beanie Bonjamer, or Beanie, or Bonj, or BJ. BJ because I'm Bonnie Jean. So those are all my nicknames for me. So that's my Pinterest account. If you want to check out what I pin. The other thing is what I call the good stuff at the end. So this is my spiritual journaling, I guess. It's my verbal journaling on what God has been showing me during this week, or where I have gone to get encouragement this week, or the last 2 weeks spiritually. So when I stitched the O Come, O Come Emmanuel, so here's the inspiration for where I'm going. I pulled this out on purpose. I had been getting really depressed, like a lot of people, with just all the stuff that's going on right now, all the stuff. And I just thought, I need hope. I need hope. And then I just started singing that song to myself. And I'm not, I don't sing. Niecy Lynn had something darling with her grandkids, and she has a gorgeous voice. I do not. So I'm not going to sing it, but I was hearing it in my mind, the song, and I love it. Ransom captive Israel. And that's what I feel like. I'm captive to this bondage of depression and stuff. It's like, I don't want this anymore. I spent way, way too much of my life in bondage to my emotions. I refuse. I'm not going there anymore. I got a life to live and purpose to live, and I have been created for a time such as this. I have had several conversations with my Jesus about why am I in such a time as this, because I am really a wimp. I have a lot of emotional issues. I am not bold. I'm scared. And but I know I am no accident. I was created for such a time as this. So it's okay, God. Where are we going with this? I need your strength. And during our financial speed bump time, I would wake up during the night, and to keep from having panic, I would do, when I'm weak, you are strong. When I'm weak, you are strong. So I'd get up and do something during the night, and I would tell myself that over and over and over and over. So I'm doing that again. When I am weak, he is strong. And his compassions fail not. They're new every morning. So all this Bible memory I have been doing over and over and over in my mind. And so I'm singing songs. So right now, the Christmas hymns are so important to me because I love it. They are beautiful, old, spiritually rich hymns. For me, this Christmas wasn't the Christmas where I wanted to play. I love music. I didn't play Jingle Bells and all that kind of more light-hearted Christmas carols. I chose to go to the Christmas hymns, and then I printed out the words because I wanted to sing along with them. So I'm closing y'all out with, you can tell I've been watching Niecy Lynn. I love her, y'all. So there we are. So here are the words to O come, Emmanuel. So, O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel, that mourns in lonely exile here until the Son of God appear. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, thou rod of Jesse, free thine own from Satan's tyranny. From depths of hell thy people save, and give them victory o'er the grave. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, thou dayspring, come and cheer our spirits by thine advent here. Disperse the gloomy clouds of night, and death's dark shadows put to flight. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, thou key of David, come, and open wide our heavenly home. Make safe the way that leads on high, and close the path to misery. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, thou Lord of might, who to thy tribes on Sinai's height in ancient times didst give the law, in cloud and majesty and awe. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. So call out to our God. He is there. Whatever your comfort level is with him. Some of us have walked with him since childhood, and I am one of those. Some of us are coming to him now to be saved by his grace during this time of hardship and turmoil in the world. Some of us, for a while, I had what I called God in my pocket, in my back pocket. And that's where, when we went through our bad time in our marriage, pulled him out of my back pocket and is like, God, we need you. We are done. We're done for. And that's where I am. I also got out my 1-year Bible, and I'm working on, I have that out in the kitchen so we can remember to do that more often. So cry out to him, whatever your comfort level is with him. And I know some of you enjoy hearing me share my faith, even though you don't feel that, you may not share that faith personally. Here's something that I recommend, because I have friends who have told me, I have one friend, it was amazing. She was just saying, she had a hard life. And she knew that the evolution and the secular world that she believed in didn't have the answers for her, and God might. And so she just had a conversation with God, and she just said, God, if you are real, you got to show me. He did. He did. And she is saved by his grace. And a life that was in ruins is amazing. She is an amazing woman of God. And other people, that's where I've told, I have friends that do not believe the same as I do, yet they love when I pray with them. And I've told them, just ask God, if you're real, show me. If you're real, you gotta let me know, because people need to know what's true and what's real. God is real, and I know it. I know it in my life, and that's where, without a doubt, I know it, because I've walked through the depths of darkness. He was there. I've walked through the heights of bliss. He is there. And I've just walked through the normal times, and he is there. So he's there for you, and he's there for me. So Merry Christmas. Hopefully I could bring you cheer during this time. And a new year is coming. I love New Year's. And I love looking at the past to see what I could control in 2020, what I could control and how I could have done it better. I like looking forward to 2021, and I always have a word for the year. My word for the year for 2020 was forward. And that was really to help me go forward in a lot of things that I needed to do. And I don't know, I haven't really even prayed about what my word for 2021 will be. I have time to do that. I have until tomorrow night, where I really want to come up with a word, which is more like a goal. I don't have New Year's resolutions like all these things that I hope will happen. I set them more as goals. concrete things. So what can I do in 2021 that I can control and I can do? So that's what I do. I love it. And there we go. So I'm not sure when the next video that I will do. Hopefully it will be the one on how to make my my cabochons, my charms. Oh my gosh, an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, we're going to end this. God bless you guys. Merry Christmas, nevertheless. Choose joy, nevertheless. And we'll see you next year. Bye, guys.